Well, good evening, and welcome to another presentation by the Hallelujah Diet. We're excited to be here with you this evening and have a great presentation on whole body cleanse and detox. And it's such an important topic as we really need to keep the toxins out of our body, and how do we do that? And what are some of the great ways to cleanse and detox the body? We have a wonderful speaker with us this evening, and she's excited to bring us some great information. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker, and this evening she's going to lead us in prayer. So Susan Smith-Jones is the author of 33 books. I mean, can you imagine writing 33 books? She's a leading voice in America and worldwide in the fields of health and fitness, personal growth, optimal nutrition, nutritional remedies, longevity, balanced living, and human potential. Throughout her books and private practice and motivational presentations, she shares her wealth of knowledge and the expertise on how to live successfully and create your best life in mind, body, and spirit. And so, Susan, it's great to have you with us this evening. Thank you so much for presenting.
Thank you so much. And may I start off with a prayer tonight?
Absolutely, that'd be wonderful.
I love that. Thank you. And hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're with us this evening. So let's together say, Heavenly Father, we lift up our hearts to you, filled with praise and thanksgiving for the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. We thank you especially today for the gift of our miraculous bodies and all the ways we have to keep our body temples detoxified, strong, and healthy. And I pray that my words will inspire, empower, and motivate all who are joining in. Amen. So now I think I will go on to the very first slide. And before I say anything about this, if you have heard me before in these webinars with Hallelujah Diet, you know that I provide usually, and I have done this here, more information than we have time to cover. So you can revisit and peruse it anytime you wish for all the details to bolster your motivation and keep you inspired to live the healthiest life possible. And in about 7 to 10 days after this live evening, you'll be getting a copy of this webinar to listen to and keep indefinitely and enjoy any time you wish. So why does God want us to be healthy? Now, for those of you that have never heard me speak before and don't know about my beliefs and my faith-based life and what's important to me, this is sort of my philosophy in a nutshell. I believe that God has blessed us with a truly miraculous body, and one of our gifts back to God is to treat our body with respect and love. And for me, this includes keeping the body cleansed and detoxified year-round and eating a plant-based diet along with ample sleep, exercise, purified water, effective stress management, a strong faith, rest and relaxation, and more. And if you haven't listened to my 2 previous webinars with Hallelujah Diet, the last one was on oral care, how to keep your tongue and your teeth and your gums and your mouth detoxified and cleansed and healthy. And the first one was all about exercise, how to stay motivated to exercise and all the benefits that it will bring to you in your life. So you can check those out at your leisure. So now, let's move on. So here I am. Now, by the way, I'm sitting at the same dining room table right now as you see in my photo here. And why am I so passionate about detox? So for those of you that haven't heard me before, let me give you a little brief introduction to how I grew up and got into living a holistic lifestyle. Just briefly here, when I was in my late teens, I got really sick, and my loving and very smart grandmother, Fritzi, from Denmark, took me under her wings and taught me how to heal my body from head to toe And I describe this in great detail in my new book you see there, Wired for High-Level Wellness. But up to that point, I had eaten the standard American diet, that sad diet of junk foods, and she taught me about making fresh juices and smoothies, growing sprouts in the kitchen, embarking on whole-body cleanses and detox programs, the importance of doing sauna therapy, spending time in nature barefoot, keeping a positive and grateful attitude every day, living a faith-based lifestyle, and lots more. She was not an MD, but she was so very wise in the ways of living a holistic lifestyle and eating foods close to the way nature made them. So from my grandmother, and then on my own with studying and getting several degrees, I've learned how effective and easy it is to live a healthy lifestyle and how joyful and inspiring it can be to wake up every morning feeling energetic and being free from disease. And ever since my early days with my grandmother, this is how I've lived, although I'm the first to admit on my path, like most people, it hasn't always been an easy road. My challenges and obstacles, including an automobile accident where my car was totaled and my back was fractured, these obstacles lay the foundation for my new book, and I've discovered that with a natural foods diet and faith, determination, perseverance, balanced living, and most importantly for me, an unshakable relationship and deep connection to God, we can all manifest victory over disease and achieve what we didn't think was possible and handle our inevitable discouragements. And of all this health enriching and life enhancing things that I learned from my grandmother, I'm probably most passionate, Paul, about how to do a whole body cleanse and detoxification and why it's so important. It's truly the foundation of a healthy, disease-free body. In fact, I have so much passion for this essential area of wellness that I give talks all around the world about detox and cleanse and, of course, holistic health in general. And I've designed detox programs for thousands of people over the decades. And I'm going to summarize it all here in this webinar. And, of course, there's much greater detail in my new book, Wired for High-Level Wellness. So let's begin here. And do you think it's time for you to do a detox and rejuvenation program? If you look in the mirror, do you think, I don't think I'm looking so healthy and energetic. I'm looking a little bit pale. I don't have that beautiful glow in my skin. Well, what I learned from my grandmother and all the decades since, which kind of go by in the blink of an eye, there's an epidemic that's sweeping America, and also I see it in the UK where I spend a lot of time. And I refer to it as internal toxic pollution. And most people are losing their health because internally within the body they are toxic and they don't keep good care of their body internally. And a lot of people think, well, I must be healthy because I have no disease. But is that really truly health? Are we healthy one day and then all of a sudden sick the next? No, it's not like that. There's so much evidence that demonstrates that health or sickness is a process that develops over a period of time and often years, and it's based at the cellular level. And our bodies, depending on your age and your size, are made up of about 70 trillion cells. 70 trillion. Now, do you know how many that is? I'm going to give you an analogy. Let's pretend like you're sitting in your rocking chair on your front porch, and you counted all of your cells walking by you 1 per second, and you gave each cell a big hug. How many years would it take to count every single cell? Now remember, I'm rounding off with 70 trillion because it could be more for you or less for you. But if you were to count each one of your cells 1 per second, it would take you over 2,219,000 years, and by that time you would be off your rocker. And by the way, just as a quick aside, and we'll get into it more shortly, one of the best and quickest ways to give all of your cells a big hug of gratitude and to treat them with the respect and kindness they deserve and dignity is to have some freshly made vegetable juice on an empty stomach, especially first thing in the morning, because this salubrious juice is quickly transported to all of your cells. This liquid elixir helps to bring nutrients to the cells and take away extra toxins. So all of these cells are joined together and they form organs and tissues and blood and bones. And each cell is constantly, every day, in the process of dying and being replaced. Each cell receives nutrition, it expels waste and toxins, and these cells, toxic cells, must be eliminated from the body in a timely manner. But when the cells are deficient in nutrients and are overpowered with toxins and waste, what happens then? Then the cellular malfunction begins, and then the slow decline in the level of health until one day you notice a disease state, and it's recognized by manifestation of symptoms. So remember, it doesn't just happen overnight. It often takes weeks, months, and years to develop. And this is a slide. It's just sad to have to report, but it's important that we know this, because there's bad news and there's good news. The bad news is there are chemicals all around us. There are thousands of chemicals in the air we breathe, the foods we eat, the water we drink. Even if you put makeup on your face, ladies, and sometimes men, there are chemicals in the makeups. What do you do with your hair? There's chemicals in what we put onto our scalp, even in some of the shampoos we use or the colorings. So we eat, drink, breathe, and live in a quotidian toxic chemical environment every day. But one of the greatest secrets that my grandmother emphasized all the time is, my nickname is Sunny, so she'd say, Sunny, you have control over the pollution in your body. And she taught me, and it is so true, that if you keep a balanced and clean internal environment, you won't succumb to that toxic buildup that's so prevalent in most people's bodies. And the beautiful secret of always keeping your body cleansed and detoxified, and the way to do it is really to do it year-round. We'll get into that. But those people who cleanse regularly, look and feel younger, are much healthier, and live a longer life than those who ignore the need to internally cleanse. So how toxic are you? I would say right now, before we rattle through some of these, if you're eating a meal, you might want to set it aside, because here are some of the symptoms of toxic buildup in the body. Diarrhea is one, constipation, yeast infections, frequent colds, weight gain, pale skin, mood swings, low sex drive, urinary tract infections, headaches, depression, bone pains, rheumatism, gas, bloating, weakness, lack of energy, and on and on and on. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh my goodness, I can actually identify with several of those. Well, maybe this is great. This is great that you're joining me now with this webinar, because I want to inspire you to not only do a detoxification cleanse program, but let's keep our bodies healthy and cleansed year-round. Now, what's to blame for our bodies being toxic? There's no doubt about it. The diets that most people eat, you remember the standard American diet, SAD, SAD, and it is sad, is to blame for so many of the common diseases and ailments and illnesses. And every time you sit down to a meal or a snack, you're digging your grave with your knives and forks and making life and death decisions if you don't sit down to healthy meals and snacks. And disease often occurs in the body. And I think a little bit differently than most doctors who just treat the disease, and they don't really know what to do to keep the body healthy. But disease is really a result of an unhealthy lifestyle. And what happens when you're not healthy? And that's not just diet, it's all the factors in your life, from stress and sleep and lack of exercise and on and on. But it causes the body to become sluggish and congested and acidic and polluted. And if you eat lots of sugar and carbonated beverages, if you take antibiotics, if your foods aren't organically grown, and I have to admit, I don't always eat 100% organically grown, but you want to avoid foods with chemical additives and flavorings and colorings. And if you take over-the-counter drugs, that alters the acid-alkaline balance of the intestinal tract, which often will kill all those good bacteria, which you want in your body, the friendly bacteria, and then creates the perfect environment for the harmful bacteria to grow. So without the good, friendly bacteria, to keep the bad bacteria in check, these bad bacteria eventually overrun the body and severely depress the immune system. And especially right now with what's going on in the world, you want to keep your immune system supercharged. And by the way, raw produce increases vitality by alkalizing and detoxifying and rejuvenating the body from head to toe. Alkaline water is a great way to support full body detoxification and to get rid of all the acidosis in our body. If you go to my website and go to the search bar, click on, put in there alkaline water. I've got many articles I've written about water, how to drink it, the best kind of water. You'll see that. So this is definitely a slide where you want to put the food to the side if you're watching this, eating a meal. Just so you know, because you probably haven't seen this, there's a mucoid plaque that's this slimy gel-like factor that covers the lining of your intestines and your bowel, the small intestines and the large intestines. And this plaque can harbor and acts like a magnet to hold on the toxins, and it interferes with nutrient absorption. And the colon is known to hold up to 30 or more pounds of old fecal matter and can be packed with undigested foods and disease-promoting bacteria. And by the way, just an aside, I remember when Elvis Presley died and when John Wayne died, there were reports that Elvis had nearly 70 pounds of fecal matter remaining in his colon when he died, 70 pounds. And John Wayne had, they said, about 40. Not pleasant, and you want to avoid this. So if your colon is not healthy, what happens then? Parasites can start growing, and they wreak havoc on your body. When your digestion is faulty from eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of foods with salt and sugar and oil and white flour and all the white sugars, all the different sugars, and they're not processed well, then they're not digested well. And all this undigested food can remain in the body and putrefy your body and your colon. And what happens then? It causes parasites and germ life to develop. I've actually gone with a few friends that had issues with their colon, and I took them to get a colonic with some friends of mine in Santa Monica. And my friends allowed me to go into the room with them, each one individually, when they were getting this colonic, and you could literally see the parasites coming out. And parasites thrive in an unhealthy, unclean colon. I know you're probably rolling your eyes right now. But when the bowel contains all these partially digested sugars and proteins and starches, it can harbor an alarming variety of parasites that range in size from microscopic organisms to tapeworms that can be 15 inches long. Fortunately, I've never had these, but I've seen them in clients. And if they ever needed something to give them the incentive to change their diet and keep it cleansed and detoxified, all they needed to see were these parasites, and they quickly changed their diets. So what are some of the benefits of cleansing and doing a detox? What can you expect? Well, you'll have a flatter abdominal area. You'll have relief from constipation because you'll be eating a lot more fiber and drinking good water, a stronger immune system, clearer thinking, improved digestion. You'll sleep better. You'll begin to look younger. Your skin within 3 days will begin to take on a more youthful glow. And you'll have confidence that you literally have control over your body. And you do have control because no one shoves the food, we hope, or the drinks down your throat. So let me put this in really simple words. Internal cleansing dramatically improves the quality of your overall health. And by the way, if you have any bad habits and like cravings for, and you can't seem to give them up for things like, and these foods are very addicting, always salting food, things made with white sugar, white flour, with your soda pops, even with dairy. When you do a cleanse, it's the best way to break those bad food habits. And when that beautiful colon of yours and your liver are clear of all these excess toxins and waste and putrefaction, it then frees up the energy to be used by the rest of the body. And this also helps the liver and the intestinal tract to manufacture nutrients as well as absorb them from your body much more efficiently. In other words, when you keep your body detoxified, this supports the healing, the repair, and the maintenance of your entire body. So when should you cleanse and what to expect? Way back when I was in my late teens, Fritzy taught me to take 1 day a week, 2 to 3 days each month, and I do it either Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and 7 to 10 days with each change of season. And every couple to 3 years, I might do a 30 or 40-day cleanse if I feel like my body really needs it. And during that time, I engage in some type of detox cleanse program, and I do this because I want to preclude this toxic buildup in my body. I don't want to just eat junk foods and then once or twice a year go on a cleanse and then go back and eat junk foods again. But I want to keep this body, this miraculous body that God's given to each of us, as vibrantly healthy as possible, this sacred body temple. And so I'm so into these cleanses that, as mentioned earlier, for decades I have created custom-designed cleanses and health programs for my clients around the world. So I'm passionate about this. So depending on how toxic your body may be, if you do a 1 to a 3 to a 7 to 21-day cleanse, whatever you choose to do, depending on how toxic it is, during your detox, you may feel a bit more tired than usual. I normally don't because I keep my body cleansed all year. But if you do, that's all right. Just make sure to get more rest. Some people report feeling more energy. Some have pimples that break out on their skin or rashes. These go away in a few days. Some get a little bit of a fever or a headache. These are signs that your body's doing house cleansing. Most people release a lot of mucus, like like in your throat, like that, or looking up at you in the bathroom. Others have mood swings or depression. But I promise you that once you go on and complete a detox program, at the end you will feel lighter, more peaceful. You'll have more control over your body. You'll experience an increase in self-esteem and confidence, and you will look and feel better than you have probably in weeks. Now, the 4 channels of elimination in the body are your skin, your kidneys, your lungs, and your bowel. And the skin is your largest eliminative organ. And here I am at my same table where I'm sitting exactly right now. And I remember when this photo was taken, a friend of mine, we said, let's go to the kitchen. Let's pull out as many things that you have on your counter and refrigerator. Let's put them on the table in front of you. I had just taken the steam rollers out of my hair, and I didn't even have time to curl it. We had just made juice. I started to take a sip, and she took the picture. So that's why my hair is kind of funny up in a ponytail. But these are the kind of foods I recommend you eat. The skin is the biggest eliminative organ of the body. If you took all the skin off your body and you weighed it, it would be about 6 pounds, covering about 2 square yards. And not only is it an organ, people have a hard time seeing that and conceptualizing it because it's not inside the body. But the skin is also the major area for elimination of toxic waste from our system. It's often called the third kidney because it works closely with your kidneys to release toxins and uric acid. And our body must eliminate large amounts of waste products from our systems daily or we'll die. And each of these organs, the bowels, lungs, kidneys, and skin, ideally want to release about 2 pounds of toxins per day. So the skin is responsible for getting rid of nearly a fourth of our body toxins each and every day. If the skin isn't doing its job, the kidneys, lungs, and bowel will have an extra load with which to deal. So one of our goals when detoxifying the body is to take stress off of the digestive and eliminative systems. And Fritzy taught me when I was just 20 actually, about dry skin brushing. It's one of the best ways to detoxify the skin and promote good circulation. Everyone should have a dry skin brush. And the key is that you want to brush your skin dry rather than wet because it does a much better job of removing dead skin cells and toxins. And you get a brush with natural fiber bristles, not synthetic or nylon, and make a commitment to do this for 30 days. You brush always in the direction of your heart, little circles. I take my clothes off. I get into the bathtub. This is where I do it. I take my brush. I start at my feet, go up my legs, little circles towards the heart, and then my arms towards the heart. Of course, avoid the private areas. Women know a lot about this exfoliation because we often use masks that exfoliate. Men who shave every day naturally exfoliate their faces. But we want to do this to the rest of our body so that our body can release toxins more efficiently. And if you commit to 30 days, I promise you, after 1 month of doing this, you will be amazed at how much younger your skin is. That's why it's called dry skin brushing. This just shows you, look at these pictures, this shows you the direction of always brushing towards your heart. And you want to get a brush with a long handle. So if you live alone, you can brush your back. And if you don't believe you slough off a lot of dead cells, just take a dark colored bath towel, like a black or dark gray or dark green, and take your clothes off, put it on the floor of your bathtub or shower, and start exfoliating. You will see all of this powdery dead cells float right down to the towel. And it's good to do this every day for about a month, and then you could do it 2 to 4 to 5 times a week. But it's very good to detoxify your skin and make it so you can sweat more efficiently too when you sweat, and we'll talk about exercise and saunas. So I'm not going to go through all these jokes, but if you've seen my webinars before, I like to take little breaks. Even in my book, Wired for High Level Wellness, I have 2 intermission breaks where I have funny stories and jokes, and I've gotten lots of endorsement quotes on the book, and people tell me they laugh so hard out loud that their abdominal muscles hurt. So here's just one of them. Something tells me I need to lose some weight. During a recent trip, to visit my son and his family. I stopped off at a bakery to pick up dessert. After scanning the display case, I settled on 12 cupcakes. The clerk's pleasant response was, "Is that for here or to go?" I'm not sure I would want someone to say that to me, but I would. Oh boy! So you don't want to be in the position where anyone would be saying that to you. So there are so many aspects to internal cleansing, and I'm going to go through them in all these slides, and then we'll talk about some supplements I take and the best foods. And this is sort of the program that I recommend in my new book, but with all my clients around the world. So let's start off with plant-based foods, smoothies, juices, and teas. When you go on a detox program, your emphasis, if you eat foods and you're not doing, say, a 1 to 3 day juice cleanse, you want fruits and vegetables in their raw form because those are the most naturally detoxifying with lots of vitamins and minerals, fiber, enzymes, antioxidants. You want to eat as many leafy greens and other greens like broccoli and sprouts like alfalfa, red clover, broccoli. They're rich in chlorophyll, which detoxifies, rejuvenates, and cleanses the body and speeds up waste elimination. It boosts immunity. It increases oxygen to the body. When people ask me, "Susan, what kind of diet do you eat?" I usually say, I eat a vegetable-centric diet. Now, the foods you want to emphasize on a cleanse are high water content foods. Look at that picture below me. By the way, I had just made their celery and carrot, and I always put ginger and lemon in it. I put a little bit of parsley, so that's what I'm drinking there if you want to know what's in that drink. The picture below shows these high water content foods, the fruits and veggies. They're easy to digest. You always want to make sure you masticate, you chew your foods well. Chew to the point where it's pretty much a liquid before you swallow. I'm often traveling alone, going to restaurants alone when I travel, and I watch people eat, and it shocks me. It just shocks me to see when a meal's delivered to someone how before they even taste it, they salt and pepper it, and they shove food in, and they chew 4 or 5 times, swallow, and before they even swallow, they shove another load of food in their mouth. You want to eat more slowly. I love this word, savor. You want to savor your food. You want to say, "Thank you, God," with each bite for this beautiful food. And if you chew it well, because half the digestion is done in your mouth, you'll take a lot of stress off your digestive system. And the goal of a detox is to give that beautiful digestive system of yours a rest. And so going on raw is very detoxifying. So maybe you don't want to do juices or green smoothies, but maybe you think, I just would still like to crunch and eat things. Maybe you take 7 to 30 days and go all raw and just see how you feel. You'll be amazed at how you feel and look. People will wonder if you've just come back from a month-long rejuvenation retreat. So during the detox, you have so many options. Maybe you'd go 1 to 7 days. You can custom design it for your lifestyle. Maybe you still have a very busy workload. So perhaps you do green juices. You got to have a good juicer unless you have a juicing place near where you live. Maybe you do green juices and green smoothies all day and have a beautiful salad with lots of raw veggies at night. Or maybe green smoothies and juices all day and night. Maybe that's it. When I make smoothies and I'm doing a detox cleanse for the liquid base, I often use a detox tea I've made. Every morning, whether I'm detoxifying or not, I take my big half-gallon glass kettle, and I like glass because then I know it's clean on the inside, and I turn on my alkaline water in my kitchen I've had for 20 years. It's a machine called the Ionizer Plus, and you can go to my website, put it in the search bar, learn more about it. But I use it for all my foods and recipes. And I heat up the water, and then I take out of the fridge my ginger root and turmeric, and I cut with the skin on 5 or 6 coins, little coins, 1/4 inch thick of each one. Put it in the water, bring it to a boil, simmer for 5 to 10 minutes. It turns a beautiful golden yellow-orange color. I then drink a large glass of that, and I sprinkle in the juice of 1 fresh lemon. I love Meyer lemons. And maybe sometimes I sprinkle in a little cayenne, great for circulation. That, every day of the year, is a great way to get the digestive system moving in the morning. Now, Hallelujah Diet makes my favorite of all time supplement. If I were stranded on a desert, an island, what do they say, on an island, and I could take one supplement with me, it would be Barley Max. I'll tell you more about exactly what it is when we get into the supplements, but I take it every single day and sometimes a few times a day because it's one of the best ways to keep your body cleansed and detoxified. It's a combination of young barley grass and alfalfa grass, and they're then juiced at a low temperature, and they're made into a powder, and they're organic, and you can put it with juice or water, but I actually eat it by the spoonful. I let it melt in my mouth, and I swear by it. Everyone should be taking Barley Max. They have original mint and berry, but more on that in a little bit. So during your cleanse, let's get into the sunshine. If oftentimes when I go to the UK, for days there might not be any sunshine. But if you have sunshine, it's good to have about 10 to 20 minutes, morning or afternoon, not midday. You don't want to work on getting a tan, of the healing sun on as much of your body as possible. And if you have a private backyard, go au naturel. Now, truth be told, I'm not sure if I should even say this, but I used to do that all the time, but I stopped because of now we have drones, and you just want to be careful out there. But if you can go out and get sun on as much of your skin as possible, it's very healing and detoxifying for your body. And while you're out there, breathe in the clean, fresh air. It's a perfect time outdoors, especially out in nature, to do your deep breathing practice several times a day. You want to breathe in as much oxygen to the lower lobes of your lungs as possible, because that helps to detoxify your body. This morning, started at a little after 5. I did a beautiful hike in the Santa Monica Mountains. And sadly, I rarely can find anybody that will want to get up early enough with me to begin the day off on a positive note. So I enjoyed by myself the beautiful sun coming up and the deer and the butterfly and dragonflies. By the way, do you know they have a lifespan of 24 hours? So every time one flies by me, I bless it and I say thank you for gifting my day with your presence. I saw bunny rabbits. You know, it was glorious. And I do my deep breathing. And I love to work out outdoors because I don't, as compared to in my gym room or in a gym, my gym room in my home or a gym, because when you appreciate the beauty and you work out at the same time, the routine goes by quicker and you finish feeling so good. During your cleanse, sit down for a little bit, and maybe with a cup of detox tea that you can make yourself. You could buy the tea bags at the health food store, or fresh juice or a smoothie. And remember that glutathione is one of the best antioxidants in your body. It's like the number one antioxidant. And watermelon, which is depending on the melon you get, is 92 to 97% water. And sometimes I'll do a 1 to 3 day watermelon cleanse. That's all I have is watermelon. I cut it up into little cubes. I put the dishes in the refrigerator. I cover them. And in addition to the watermelon, I'll have my Barley Max 4 to 6 times a day. And after 3 days, boy, will you start feeling amazing. And you have something to eat, and especially when watermelon is ripe, and glutathione helps to detoxify the body. Now, you want to hydrate your body with purified water. Unfortunately, studies reveal that 75% of the American population is in a chronic state of dehydration, and even a little bit of dehydration can cause that brain fog and fuzzy thinking, and it lowers your metabolism, makes it run slower. So if you want to lose weight more easily, you don't want that. I say to carry water with you everywhere, so you always have it with you. I have a client I've worked with recently, and in the last 2 months, he's doubled. He used to drink 4 to 5 glasses of water a day, so now he's doubled that. Actually, he's pretty much tripled it, and he said he's never slept better, had more energy, his skin looks better, his brain is clearer. And now he said, why didn't you tell me this before? I said, how many times have I told you this? I can't supervise you way over in England where you live. And he's just over the moon with delight at the change in how he feels and looks and thinks from drinking more water. And remember, your body loses water through the intestines, the skin, the lung, the kidneys. You know, your urine. Every night when you sleep, you don't know it probably unless you're having that moment, of perspiration that a lot of women get. But you lose about a pint of moisture at night. And if you're properly hydrated, it will relieve constipation and headaches and prevent kidney stones and help immensely with weight loss and lubricate your joints and oxygenate your body. It helps with digestion. It decreases food cravings. Oftentimes when you think you're hungry, you're really thirsty. So take a big glass of water, wait 15 to 20 minutes. Chances are you won't be hungry anymore. Keep this in mind. What's germane having to do with detoxification and cleansing is when your body is fully hydrated, you can more easily flush toxins out of your system. Now, do you need to really drink 10 glasses of water a day? As I told my client out over in England, that the fresh juice and high water content foods like watermelon and melons and decaffeinated tea can count towards your water tally. But remember, if you drink things like soda pops and caffeinated tea and alcohol, they all dehydrate your body. And I always recommend putting fresh lemon juice into your water because it's very detoxifying. Even though it's acid to the taste, the lemon, the citrus, once you digest it, the ash that develops after digestion is very alkalizing in your body. And when your body is over-acidic, and most people in America have something called metabolic acidosis, which doctors never address. And when you are over-acidic, your body holds on to toxins. So an alkaline-centric diet that centers around lots of beautiful, colorful, fresh fruits and vegetables will help support the detoxification system in your body. And I devote multiple chapters to that in my new book. So keep your body hydrated. Pray and meditate. I know most of you listening, I don't need to remind you about this, but some people say that when they detox, they want to fill their life with lots of activity so they don't have to think about they're doing a cleanse or a detox. And I say, no, don't do that. Make this time to carve out respites of quiet reflection and relaxation during your program. Slow down, smell some flowers, keep a gratitude journal, find ways to simplify your life, commune deeply with God because you're purifying your God-given sacred body temple. What I like to do when I do a cleanse detox is I like to take inventory of all the things for which I am grateful. And I always say, thank you, God, for the miraculous body you've given me, that just kind of works nonstop if I treat it properly and live a healthful and vibrant life. And then I thank God for the nutrient-rich foods I'm eating. I thank God for my home, for my family, for my friends. And I always like to make sure, well, I do this year-round, but I'll suggest to you, find ways to bring in nature and beauty into your home. Always have good green plants in your home. They give off oxygen. Always have some flowers. Right here on my desk, you saw my desk earlier, I have a candle lit, and it's a lavender one to keep me calm. I sometimes can get a little overexcited. And I have a beautiful, small little vase of just five roses, actually, and they smell so good. These days it's hard to find roses that smell like roses anymore, but when I can find them, it just really makes my day. It makes me so happy. But do what you can to keep your body and mind calm, to lower your stress levels so that your body has an opportunity to cleanse and detoxify the way God designed it to do. And as I just mentioned to you, that I often have a candle lit, which I do right now. I often sit quietly and read some of my favorite passages out of the Bible. We have some here below that have to do with health and faith. These are good things to do when you do a cleanse. Now, here's what I also do when I'm on a cleanse. I find ways to simplify and declutter my surroundings. I figure if I'm cleansing my body, why not do the same with my mind and my environment? Now, for me, this includes that every day I'll spend a few minutes and I'll clean out a drawer or a cupboard or a closet of the home. That includes the garage too, my office and my car. And since I'm making a fresh start with a cleansed body, it just really makes tremendous sense to me to do the same with my environment. And I always feel, I wonder if you feel this way, I always feel empowered when my living space is free of clutter and all the superfluous that doesn't need to be there. So it's like, how do I say this? I work with lots of clients, and I work with clients that are millionaires and billionaires and lots of famous celebrities. And I won't mention names, but it shocks me often when I go into these beautiful homes and they have so much stuff. Every wall is covered and every space is covered. And it's almost like they're getting their worth and value from all of these possessions. And it's hard to let the winds of heaven and God and angels flow through your living space when it's so cluttered. So it's just good. God's given you a lovely home, whether it's a little junior one-room apartment or a big house. So treat that with respect because God's there, and also open your windows for fresh air, even in the winter. And make sure when you go in your house, take off your shoes because you don't know where you've been stepping. You don't know what viruses and chemicals and dog stuff and sewage and tars on the soles of your feet. So right when I come in my house and I come in to a door where the kitchen is and I take my shoes off right there, and then I have my house shoes, my house shoes that can't go outdoors. I keep them clean inside and I wash my hands before I go into any other room in my house. But I like that because I want to keep this house that God's given me cleansed and detoxified too. And let's not forget your beautiful, beautiful mind and brain. We're detoxifying the body and our living space, so let's keep a positive mindset. Let's stay optimistic. And that means you want to fast from all negative thinking like worry and guilt, anger, fear, jealousy. Focus on positive thoughts, on God's love in your life, and your self-healing, self-rejuvenating, and self-renewing body. Now, should you exercise when you cleanse? Absolutely you should. A detox program, it can help the body's natural cleansing process by giving the digestive system and the organs a rest, and it stimulates toxins to be released from the liver and through the intestines, kidneys, and skin. And then you take in the healthy nutrients of whatever you're eating or drinking during this cleanse. But when you exercise, not only does it improve the circulation, especially aerobic exercise like rebounding, biking, walking, hiking is my most favorite, or walking at the Santa Monica Beach, which I did yesterday. I love to do. Gardening is a pretty good exercise, not really aerobic, but it's good to be out in nature. But whenever possible, get outdoors to exercise and take in that sunshine and breathe deeply and appreciate the beauty around you, because every time you consciously focus on the beauty around you, especially in nature, it literally changes the vibrational rate of those 70 trillion plus cells in your body. And the higher they all vibrate, literally, the closer you are to God. Produce. This is a whole new topic for another webinar, so I'll just plant that seed right now. But when you eat foods as close to the way nature made them as possible, like my grandmother taught me, it helps to increase the vibrational rate of your body so it's humming along and it keeps you positive. So you want to exercise to help you flush the toxins out of your body more efficiently and also carry nutrients to all the cells of your body. If you're doing a 3-day and you just feel tired, do something simple. Do some yoga stretches or other simple movements, but do some movement. Don't just lie in bed. Infrared sauna, I'll tell you, I could talk for hours just on this, and I know you're thinking, please don't, and don't worry, I won't. But my grandmother and my mom, when I was late teens, early 20s, taught me about the benefits of saunas. And today, sweating is totally in. It's one of the healthiest things you can do to your body. And there's nothing that feels better than a good sweat. And the easiest way to get a good sweat is through a sauna, because most of us don't do marathon running training every day to work up that profuse sweat out of every cell in our body. And when you profusely sweat in a sauna, what happens is, and initially, if you haven't done much sweating in a long time, for a week or two, your sweat glands aren't very efficient, and you won't have a lot of sweat coming out. And that's the body's way of cooling off the body before it gets too heated. But after a week or two, you'll find that you can profusely sweat. And it's such an effective way to remove chemicals and heavy metal toxins like mercury and lead. In my book, I talk a lot about this. And if you want to read about the difference between an infrared and a traditional dry sauna, I've had my infrared for about 20 years now, and it's the number one most important practice in my healthy living program. I would not be without it. And you can go to the search bar in my website, susansmithjones.com, put in infrared sauna. I have lots of articles. And I have countless scientific studies on the benefits of using a sauna a few times a week. And by the way, I have some friends and the sauna I use is the one. This is my sauna right here, pictured here. It's the Transcend Infrared Sauna from High Tech Health in Boulder, Colorado. They're known to make the best sauna in the industry, actually in the whole world. And this sauna comes in a 1-person, a 2-person, or a 3-person. And even if you're by yourself in a home, and you can put it in any room, a basement, a guest room, in an office, the corner of a bedroom, you can find a place for it. But even if you're 1 person, I still recommend getting the 2-person. And why? Because you just have a little bit more room around you. And you'll see on my website, and I look at COVID-19, and in the search bar put infrared sauna. You'll see studies where viruses cannot live in the environment of an infrared sauna. Some great studies I have there. So I would not be without this sauna. If we have time, I'll talk more about it later. But it is such an important part of detox and rejuvenation, because you will profusely sweat through every cell of your body. And then you get out and you take a cool shower and you towel off. And I'll tell you a little secret. Let me just take a sip of water. I have to do a lot of photo shoots in my work. And whenever I have a photo shoot, 4 to 6 hours before the photo shoot, I always make sure I take a sauna. And that sauna you see right there. And that's because it puts this most beautiful glow on your skin, this most beautiful glow that no makeup artist could even improve on. You know, they still put a little lip gloss on and maybe a little mascara, but I don't need much in my photo shoots if I've taken the sauna. And I'll tell you what I do too, as I always dry skin brush, and then I shower off all the dry skin that hasn't fallen off. And then as I'm still wet and the sauna's heated up, I get into the sauna. And one session in the sauna is the equivalent to burning about 300 calories. And not the equivalent. You will burn about that many calories. And that's the equivalent to about a 3-mile jog or an hour of doing weight training. And I know some friends that bought a 1, 2, and a 3. They're entrepreneurs, 1, 2, and 3-person saunas, and they put them in their garage or other places, a basement, and they rent them out to people who don't want to get one in their home or can't afford it, and within months they've recouped the price of the sauna. So I thought that was great entrepreneurship. All right, hot detox baths. Yes, you can always take a wonderful bath. Lavender is great to relax you. Sometimes I'll make extra ginger tea in the morning to add to the bath water. That helps to detoxify you. If you can possibly get a massage, not that you have to, but during a detox, and someone who knows how to do a lymph massage, those always strengthen the immune system, and they help to take toxins out of your muscles and help get rid of toxins from all the tissues in your body. Therapeutic massage will help reduce heart rate, blood pressure, lower your stress hormones, increase those endorphins, those happy hormones, make you feel great from head to toe. So if I do a longer detox, let's say I do a 21-day, I like to get at least one good massage during that time. And if I have time and have the funds, I might do it every week. Make sure you get ample sleep during a detox. You know, the way most people live these days, and especially now, it seems like people are sleeping less and less. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but it's when you sleep that the body renews, rebuilds, detoxifies, and rejuvenates. And whole body hydration, as I said a few moments ago, helps to remove the toxins that are stored in the fat, and then they're released into your bloodstream, and then our bodies have to deal with all that. And our bodies like to deal with it when you're sleeping. And fluids like water and fresh vegetable juice will help flush out toxins. Even if you did nothing more than add fresh vegetable juice to your day, having it in the morning and make extra to have later as a snack on an empty stomach, that is very detoxifying. Raw vegetables, what they do is when you drink them or eat them, they increase the work rate of the biologically friendly bacteria to thrive in the gut. And no matter what detox program you choose, you know, if you do a 1-day, a 3-day, you do your own, you take products I'll talk about in a moment from Hallelujah Diet, always make sure that sleep is very, very essential. You know, of all of our human functions, when it comes to detoxifying and cleansing your body, it's imperative to get sleep because the body needs more rest. And as I say here, put simply, your organs are going the extra mile to help flush the toxins out of the kidneys and the colon and the skin and your lungs as you're breathing in very deeply and slowly right now, right? And And when you feel tired, especially during a cleanse, it's an indication that your body is asking for a little bit more sleep. And sleep is when the growth hormone in our body increases. And we lose a lot of that growth hormone as we get older. But sleep and weight training are two ways you can increase the growth hormone in your body, which keeps you youthful and vibrant and robust, throughout your life. And the growth hormone during sleep helps with regeneration, repair, and renewal. So you've got to really make it non-negotiable, all right? 7 to 8 hours of nightly sleep will allow that growth hormone to function properly. And this isn't 2 hours and then wake up in 2 more hours. It's uninterrupted sleep. I'll plant one more seed, Paul, with you, that maybe one day we can do an entire webinar on how to sleep like a baby and why it's important. I give so many talks about this around the world, about sleep. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this. I devoted a whole section to earthing and grounding in my new book. But we are electrochemical organisms. And most of the time we're wearing shoes and we're not out on planet Earth, on the grass or at the sand at the beach, walking barefoot. And what happens is when we're constantly being insulated from the Earth, all of those beautiful electrons, the electro potential that comes up from the Earth, the electrons can't get into our body. And when we're connected or grounded to the Earth, like yesterday I walked barefoot at the ocean with my feet in the water and on the sand, or in my backyard, when we're connected to the Earth's electrical field, this is known as the grounding effect or earthing. And the Earth has a net negative charge. And when our bare feet come in contact with the Earth's surface, which is called grounding, those electrons can flow freely from the Earth into our body. So this is amazing to me. And the body is the Earth is breathing and living. And so and if you can't get out to your backyard and you're stuck in your office and around computers and all this high-tech equipment, you can do what I'm doing right now. At my desk, under my desk, I have a little earthing mat, and I'm barefoot with my feet on the mat that gives you the same effect as being outdoors, although it's much nicer to be outdoors and walking on the grass. If you have kids, you need to do this whenever possible. Even 5 minutes of grounding yourself on the Earth's surface without shoes will make a profound difference in your life. And not only that, but it's been proven scientifically to help reduce inflammation in the body and to reduce pain and to put you in a better mood. So I highly recommend when you're detoxing or any time, and especially a little bit, a few times a week or every day if possible, do some grounding and earthing. So what's Buddy Cleanse? So oftentimes when I do a cleanse, I like to get a friend or a family member to join me. Now, even if that let's say it's a friend, even if the friend doesn't live in my neighborhood or my state or maybe not even in my country, it's fun to know that someone else is doing exactly what you're doing. For example, at the beginning of this month, I did a 3-day watermelon cleanse where I just had watermelon because they were beautiful and organic in my local co-op in Santa Monica, and I couldn't resist. So, and she did the same thing, and she was in Florida. And so we both did watermelon. She did 2.5 days, and I did 3 full days. And in addition to the watermelon, I had my barley max a few times a day. And then we just check in with each other. We'd email, or a couple times we would call, see how she felt. And then sometimes you think, oh, gosh, it just sounds so good to have some other kind of food. But when you know someone's doing it with you, you sort of don't want to let that person down. Or yourself, as a matter of fact. You don't want to let yourself down. It's always important to keep your word, make your word gold with yourself and other people. follow through. Do what you say you're going to do. Okay, here are a few more funnies. You can read when at your leisure when you get the copy of this, but here's one at the bottom. Why are most horses in shape? Because they are on a stable diet. I like that. So let's talk about some supplements. When I first started doing all these custom design programs like my grandmother taught me with other people, it was unbelievable how I'd have them get, 2 to 3 dozen different bottles and containers and jars that filled their entire kitchen counter. It was crazy back in the olden days because they didn't have good programs like we have now. But now, what a lot of people say to me is, Susan, I just want something simple. I want something that measures everything out, that gives me exactly what I need to get the best effect, the most efficacious program to guarantee success. And there are some products I recommend. My most favorite, well, first of all, you always want to take glutathione because that's the body's master antioxidant, and that's really good when you're doing a cleanse. And Hallelujah Diet makes something called the Perfect Cleanse, and it comes in original and berry. And so they're showing you a picture of it right here, and you get all of these containers and jars, and they give you instructions on what time of day you do this, and it tastes great, and it's filling, and you're never hungry, and you could do it. You could do it for 3 days in a row, or you could do it for 5 days in a row. I've done it for 15 days in a row, but you just let it fit into your schedule. And it's so easy because they've already done all the scientific background on all of this with the superfoods and the fiber cleanse and the vitamin C and the probiotics you need and the beet max and the barley max. So here's what I would like to recommend. Go to myhdiet.com and do your own research into the Perfect Cleanse. If you don't know what to do, it's a great place to start. I use all of these products I have here. I've done the Reboot Kit. I always have the Fiber Cleanse powder in my house. I take Beet Max every day. I take their nascent iodine every day, first thing in the morning. I have their advanced superfoods. I take their professional strength probiotics. I take the vitamin C. But the good news is that all of this is in this Perfect Cleanse. So you make one purchase, you get it all. That's what you put on your kitchen counter. And it's really delicious and filling. And on the other side of the cleanse, let's say you do it 5 days, you'll have energy and a flatter stomach, and you'll sleep better. Your skin will look beautiful. You'll just feel on top of the world. So raw produce. My grandmother, here we go. How do you like that picture of those two people? But my grandmother taught me about the importance of eating lots of raw foods, and I love raw, fresh fruits and vegetables. And we've been talking about detox and rejuvenation. And if we quickly review, in the short term when you do a detox, you'll have more energy, like I just said. If you do that Perfect Cleanse, you'll have more energy, weight loss, clear skin, great bowel movements. And you always want to have one really good bowel movement every day. And if you're lucky, you want to have a couple more bonus rounds. But in the short term, it will improve your digestion. In the long term, when you keep your body cleansed and detoxified, you'll have better immune system. You'll have reduction in chronic inflammation. You'll have elimination of free radicals. You'll keep your body much less vulnerable to all kinds of illnesses and diseases. But here's what makes the best sense to me. You don't want to go on a detox and then go back to the way that guy is eating, the way the guy is eating in the photo. On the right there, you want to eat the way that the person is eating on the left. So it just makes sense to me to take care of your magnificent God-given body to adopt a diet that keeps you naturally cleansed and detoxified year-round. And what fits the bill perfectly are eating lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. I won't take time to go through all of these, but here are some of the most detoxifying foods you can eat. And later you can peruse this at your leisure and find out what each one does. But blueberries, that's known as the brain berry, by the way, the blueberry. And it's really important to keep your brain healthy. I put lemons all day long in most things I drink, even when I'm not detoxifying, but it helps detoxification. Artichokes are great. Carrots, onions, seaweed, beets, grapefruit, watermelon, as I said, especially in the summer when you can get big watermelon at a great price, and if you can get it organically grown, because it's got so much glutathione. That's a body detoxifying antioxidant. And you never feel deprived. To take one day of just watermelon and the next morning you wake up and feel so good you might think, I want to do this one more day. I always add the barley max with it. Cruciferous vegetables, and of course I ran out of space, so I'm saying avocados, turmeric, apples, chlorella, green tea, spirulina, garlic, cilantro, and ginger. These are all detoxifying. So those of you listening that might eat all cooked food, you're thinking, why do I want more raw food? Well, they're more naturally cleansing on your body. They give you much better skin. They help you sleep like a baby. They help eliminate food allergies. They help add more electrons to your body to prevent free radical damage. In fact, I want to do another webinar on just the benefits of raw foods. They help with digestion. They increase friendly bacteria. If you have an issue with weight and you want to lose some weight and cellulite, boy, you eat more raw foods and you'll see that the weight comes off more effortlessly. They help carry oxygen to your body. They help slow the aging process. They put you in a better mood. I always find that my prayer time and meditations are much deeper when I'm eating much more raw food. Really, truth be told, I emphasize raw food all year round. Sometimes in the hot summer months, I have all raw food because it just tastes great. Of course, I eat a lot of vegetables. I'll steam vegetables. I love, when it's cooler, I'll make soups. But I eat a vegan plant-based diet. So you want to choose to live a rawsome lifestyle. And another food I recommend you eat, and I've written a whole book on it. When I was living for a few months in the summer with my grandmother when I was really sick, she taught me how to make sprouts. And you can grow them for pennies for a batch in a few inches of the corner of your kitchen. And in 3 to 4 days, you have a huge jar or container of alfalfa or broccoli or red clover sprouts. By the way, red clover looks and tastes like alfalfa sprouts. You probably know what those are. But red clover is very cleansing on the liver and kidneys, and it supports a healthy lymphatic system. And red clover flushes toxins from your body. So I make sure if I'm doing a cleanse, I have lots of red clover sprouts that I might put into a smoothie or juice them or put them in a salad or just eat them out of hand. They're really, really delicious. So this is one of my books that teaches you the ABCs of sprouts and how to grow them. And it's in full color, lots of pictures. It talks a lot about my faith-based lifestyle and how it started when I was a teenager with my grandmother's influence too. People tell me it's really inspiring. So here's some pictures to get you motivated to eat more sprouts. Look at those beautiful wraps on the right. So I love to take romaine lettuce, and I take the inner leaves. They're a little bit stronger, and sometimes I'll put 2 lettuce leaves at opposite ends, back to back, to make a stronger wrap. And I put lots of sprouts and raw vegetables on the inside. Now, I don't care if you eat lots of meat and dairy and junk foods, I think most people will say, this looks absolutely delicious. Well, I guess I hope you would say that. And in my book, I also have a chapter with lots of raw food recipes. And here's one of them that I make. Not only, it's a smoothie, but sometimes I'll put it into a bowl, as you see there, with a little bit of granola and berries on the top. It's delicious. Everybody loves it. Sometimes I'll put it into a popsicle mold. If you don't have a mold, you can use a muffin tin and add a stick into it when it's slightly frozen. But this is a very delicious, rejuvenating, and detoxifying smoothie. So we're getting towards the end now. Should we buy organic? Listen, you've cleansed and detoxified your body. If at all possible, it's better to put in organic foods. But I know it's not always possible. Even when I travel, it's not always possible. I go to people's homes to eat. I know they don't do all organic. But when possible, let's do it. But if you don't get all organic food, make sure you clean your produce well. And there's always, every year, there's the Environmental Working Group has a new list that comes out. And here's the list. The produce that are the most dirty are the 12 on the left. And those are the ones that I would suggest that whenever possible, definitely get those organically grown. The ones on the right are a clean list. You can see with many on the right, many of them have peelings like the papaya and the avocado and the melons. I'm looking at the melons. So isn't that a beautiful picture in the middle? Honestly, who wouldn't want to eat a lot of those foods? Well, all right. So, and now, nearing the end, as I mentioned, I have a brand new book that just came out. And if you want to get a copy of it, if you want to get an autographed copy, just go to SusanSmithJones.com, and in the navigation bar, click on New Book, and it will tell you how to get a copy of this book. Of course, you can go to Amazon, you can get the book and Kindle version, but if you go to my website, I will send you an autographed copy with a bookmark, and also I'll write a note to you. And I go get the envelopes at Staples, and I love doing this, and I put it in an envelope, and I write a note to you, and then I go wait in line at the post office, and it gives me great joy to do this because it feels like you're then my extended family. Don't forget, on my website, right on the home page, it says free monthly newsletters. Takes a few seconds to sign up, and once a month you'll get beautiful newsletters from me with lots of great health info and lots of photos. And so what will you find in this new book? By the way, if you go to New Book on my website, you can read the entire foreword. The table of contents will be there. You'll get a sampler of the book. You can read some chapter excerpts. You can see the endorsements. But this book is about keeping your body detoxified and cleansed year-round, how to look 10 years younger in 30 days, how to be a magnet for miracles and prosperity, how to create more success in your life, how to boost your immune system. So important right now. It's all about high-level health, body, mind, and spirit. And thank you so much to Olin Idol, who right here has this endorsement quote where he said, for my book, he said, when we follow God's pattern set forth in Genesis 1:29, I love that quote, we most often regain and sustain the level of health he designed for us to enjoy. Susan shows us how these health-enriching foods can detoxify the body, support and improve brain function. I have 2 chapters on brain function. Keep us fit and trim, slow down the aging process, supercharge the immune system, and help us look and feel our best well into older age. She reveals many personal challenges that she's faced throughout her life and how she came out the other side with more hope, faith, always determined to let go and let God, as she encourages us to do the same in her book. So I think it will inspire you. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that the first wealth is health. So let's encapsulate. Under ideal conditions, and most of us don't live under ideal conditions, the body has been designed to detoxify itself, to expel all the toxins through lungs, skin, kidneys, and intestines. But in this fast-paced world with lots of stress in which we live, usually our bodies are unable to perform the deeper level of detox that is necessary to avert the accumulation of ordinary toxins. So when you choose to put yourself on a cleanse and detox, and do it on a regular basis, maybe you adopt what I do, 1 day a week, 2 to 3 days with each month, and 7 to 10 days with each change of season. And you will be rewarded with vitality and health and energy and great self-esteem and faith-filled peace. You will feel better than ever before. And in my book, I write a lot about health by choice and not chance. Don't you love those little apple sandwiches right there? That's my homemade almond butter and some walnuts and some raisins right there. So let's finalize all this. Keep in mind that the secret to vibrant health and youthful vitality, no matter your age, is cleansing your body and mind, and then adopting a lifestyle that includes positive, grateful thoughts, plant-based foods, vegetable juices, green smoothies, good water, air, sunshine, sleep, spend time in nature, especially barefoot, exercise, prayer, and God. And learning to cleanse and detoxify the body and mind is an essential part of healing. And this is what happens, summarizing it. When the body is burdened with toxic waste material, it will be tired and have low immune function. And especially right now, during these uncertain times in which we're living, we don't want low immune function. When the body is clean, it can absorb more efficiently the essential nutrients it needs to heal, repair, and maintain good health. So the next time you hear that expression, I know you've heard before that cleanliness is next to godliness, understand that it conveys an extremely important aspect of rejuvenation, and that's the more cleansed you keep this miraculous body you have, the more room you will have to be filled with light. Always remember that with God, all things are possible. Vibrant health can be yours when you make a commitment to take loving care of your body daily, treat it with respect, and this is a loving gift that you can give back to God. And I love 3 John 2 here. I hope all is well with you and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit. So now I know, as you saw, there's a lot more that's in this webinar than I had time to go over. So I encourage you to revisit whenever you have a little extra time if you need some inspiration or motivation or empowerment. And I thank you so much for listening. Please visit my website, sign up for my newsletters. I hope you take a peek at my new book, Wired for High-Level Wellness. And I thank you, and I look forward to our next visit. So now I see that some questions have come in for me. Okay, all right. So I'm going to tell you the question, and then I'll answer it as quickly as possible. Someone said you've mentioned barley max a few times. Why exactly do you? What did he say? Why exactly do you love this powder? Let me put it very succinctly. You get more energy from barley max. It's dehydrated juice from organically grown young barley grass and alfalfa grass. The juicing removes the fiber, leaving nothing but the liquid and the nutrition of the plant. The drying process, by the way, it's organic, keeps temperatures below 107 to lock in nutritional potency and retains the living enzyme and protects heat-sensitive nutrients. And I take it 1 to 2 times a day. I literally take it by the spoonful. I rarely mix it in a smoothie or juice or water, although you can do that. I put it in my mouth. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to melt, and then my teeth are no longer green, and it tastes really good to me. It comes in original, berry, and mint. And often I'll do that watermelon detox I told you of, just watermelon and barley max a few times a day, and it's wonderful. Okay, here's another question. How long will it take for my body to get used to eating a plant-based diet? I'm in my 60s and want to improve my health and energy level. Also, my wife and daughter have some eating disorders. Will a plant-based diet and detox program help with that? Very good questions. So I'll say this, and I don't usually give my age, but I've noticed that now I'm in my 60s, I need to be a lot more careful with my diet than in my 40s and 50s. If I splurge a little bit, it takes longer for my body to recoup. Before it used to be a day, now it's several days, and I don't splurge very often because it's just not worth it to me anymore. But it takes 3 weeks for your body and mind to accept a new eating program. Benjamin Franklin once said, whatever you do for 21 days will make or break a habit, and especially for the first 7 to 10 days of a detox, your body will continue to crave the nutritionally void foods you're giving up that cause disease. And keep this in mind, too. Your taste buds often let go of their food addictions in about 10 days, and then it takes a couple more weeks for your digestive system to embrace the new higher nutrient and fiber diet. So, and here's what I say in my talks worldwide and in my new book, that there's no food worth eating that contributes to diabetes, heart disease, obesity, or eating disorders. The standard American diet, the SAD diet, causes all kinds of disease. And I tell people this, it's like a bad boyfriend or a girlfriend. There are certain foods you need to break up with, and then you never want to look back. You'll be fine without them. Life is much sweeter and better with colorful, plant-based foods. So here's the bottom line. You get rid of the toxins first with a great detox program like the Perfect Cleanse, and then flood your body with lots of nutrients, and then our hunger mechanisms will balance out. When you eat the SAD, standard American diet, which is void of nutritional value, just a lot of calories, you tend to overeat often, which leads to eating disorders because your body is starving for nutrients. Foods, by the way, foods made with salt, sugar, and oil are very addicting. And this is what companies do on purpose to get you addicted to their packaged foods. When you remove the addiction component of the SAD diet, it changes the game on all eating disorders. And remember, people with any eating disorders improve on a plant-based diet. And I'll address a little bit more in a second because I see the next question that I can say one more thing. But how will a detox program help my brain health and reduce inflammation in my body? Okay, this is brilliant. I love this because I'm getting older, and I know many people that are, and they don't have to, are losing a lot of their brain focus and concentration and function. And that's why I mentioned a moment ago, I devoted 2 chapters in Wired for High-Level Wellness to brain health and what you should eat and never eat if you want to have brain vitality well into older age. So our brain is in, and here's a little summary of those chapters, really, a great summary here. Our brain health is influenced by the foods we eat. The standard American diet is filled with processed foods, and anything made, by the way, with white sugar, white flour, and processed junk foods, colorings, flavorings, all that, causes inflammation in the body and the brain. And this inflammation, according to some of the latest recent, scientific studies, causes eating disorders, and a poor diet exacerbates inflammation. So when people who are, let's say, anorexic or bulimic, and I've worked with many, or tend to just overeat all the time because it's a pattern that they've adopted, and they cleanse their bodies and go on a plant-based diet, most of the time their eating disorders go away. And similarly, when you're addicted to salt, sugar, soda, dairy, junk foods, and more, and you can't seem to get enough of those foods, and you go on a detox program, it breaks your craving for these unhealthy foods. In fact, and this is what Fritzy taught me in my late teens, the cleaner and healthier your diet, the more you will crave only healthy foods. And keep in mind that what you eat today, you will crave tomorrow. And that's why it's not worth it, to go off this program and have a couple days of junk food, because then you'll be craving that more and more. The payoff will be amazing when you adopt a more plant-based diet. I often tell people that if you're craving junk foods, it's time to detox your body. Okay, we have a few more. This says, how are you doing, everyone, by the way? What if I'm the only, this is a good one. What if I'm the only one in my family who wants to make a change to a healthier diet and lifestyle and to embark on a detox program? Should I convince my family to do it with me before I start? Okay, I hear this often, and it's a great question. So think about this. When you fly, you are instructed to what? Put on your oxygen mask first and then secure it for your children. And the best way to influence other people to open up to a healthier lifestyle is to teach and show them by being a shining example. Let others see your radiance and be inspired by you. So you don't want to do a slipshod program. You don't want to have lack of care and thought and organization. You do the best you can on your program, and let others and your family and friends and circle of people see you energetic, happy, positive, and vibrant. And never forget this: if you embrace a detoxifying diet and lifestyle now, year-round, what does that mean? More water, more exercise, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, green vegetable juices. You will most likely avoid all of the major illnesses later in life. Plants do make a difference. Become friends with plants, with your fruits and vegetables. You decide what goes in your mouth. You decide what you eat and drink. Show others how healthy they can be by seeing you thrive with your new healthy lifestyle. Okay, we have 4 more. All right, this is a good one. How much produce, Susan, do you eat every day, and in what forms? Okay, so I don't weigh anything, but initially, decades ago, I did, and I was curious to see, and it averages out to about 2 pounds of vegetables a day. You want a vegetable-centric diet. And I eat mostly raw, and I eat some cooked in a form like steaming them. Maybe I'll have a little brown rice, maybe some beans, a few nuts and seeds. I'm always growing sprouts. I love my sweet potatoes, but I emphasize raw foods. I'd say at least 85% of my diet is raw. That's my diet. And then sometimes during the year, like often during the summer months, I'll do all raw, and something maybe occasionally, I don't know, like steamed cauliflower and broccoli. But think of it this way: with juice, it would be difficult to eat a pound of carrot, celery, and spinach. But when you juice them and then you sip this salutary drink on an empty stomach, you'll get so much benefit and nourish your 70 trillion plus cells very quickly, like giving each one a big hug, like I said before. So this question is, What do you put in your juices, fruits or vegetables, and any suggestions on how to save time when juicing? Okay, another good question. I love these. I don't drink or make fruit juices, and I bet most of you already know why, because there's too much sugar in them. I love fruit. I love fresh fruit. I love my melons and my berries, my apples, pears, grapefruit, oranges, but I like to eat whole fruits and only use a little bit of fruit maybe when juicing, when I want to sweeten it up a bit, like using a little bit of apple, or like a carrot is not a fruit, it's a vegetable, but that's a little bit sweeter vegetable. And I'll use a little bit to sweeten up my green juices. I always put in some fresh lemon because it's detoxifying. I 99% of the time also put in ginger root. And for vegetables, I often will choose a combination of like romaine lettuce, kale, spinach, celery, cucumber, parsley, sprouts grown in my kitchen like broccoli, alfalfa, red clover especially, carrots, and whatever I can get that's organically grown. And by the way, you've got to have a good juicer. I think a good juicer and an infrared sauna and that beautiful Ionizer Plus device that makes pure, the perfect pH alkaline water are probably the three most important products in my healthy living lifestyle. And I don't often have time to juice every day. I'm busy like all of you. So what I like to do, and ideally it's great to juice it and then drink it down within seconds of juicing it, but I don't have time. So I might juice 2 to 3 times weekly, and I'll make extra, and I have 4 or 6 extra glass bottles with a stainless steel lid, and I make extra, and I pour into the very top of the glass bottle, and I quickly put the lid on. I fill it to the brim, put the lid on, and then put it right in the refrigerator, and it will retain much of the nutritional value for 2 to 3 days. So you can like juice 2 days a week if you want, make a lot extra. It just saves time that way. Okay, so if I were to get a detox program, a detox kit from Hallelujah Diet, which one should I start with? Because you recommended a few. Okay, I would highly recommend the Perfect Cleanse. As I said, I've used it many times for 5 days in a row, 1 to 3 days, even 15 days. But ideally, you want to use it you want to do 3 5-day cleanses. So maybe you do 3 months apart, all right? 3 months. This month you do 5 days, next month 5 days, the next month 5 days. Or you could do 5 3-day cleanses. As I mentioned, it's a variety of powders, all organic at low temperature to ensure the nutrition is intact and bioavailable to you. It's a complete cleansing program, so you don't have to go out and buy dozens of bottles of powders and pills. It has everything you need to give you the most success, and it's so much better than what I used to do decades ago with myself and clients. It's like a godsend, and it's easy to use. It's delicious. It makes you feel full. You don't feel like you're missing out on eating anything, and every day you do it, you feel better and better. So I have 2 more. I have just 2 more questions. How many of you are applauding right now? Yay, 2 more. This is, all right, I read on your website your articles posted on the benefits of infrared sauna therapy and want to do this at home. Where can I put a sauna in my home if I have limited space? What time of the day is the best day to do an infrared sauna bath? That's right, it's called infrared sauna bath or bathing or therapy. And please summarize why it's, what did she say? Oh, it's the #1 healthy living practice for you year-round. I would like my husband on board with getting one so we could do it together. Oh, that's sweet. I like that. So as I said, since I was in my late teens, I've been taking saunas, and for the last 25 years, I've had my own infrared sauna in my house. I don't want to go to a gym or somewhere else and sit in a sauna where people have been profusely sweating out all of their toxins. I want one in my home. And so why should people have one in their home? And then I'll summarize this about saunas. Our level of toxic exposure, this is so sad to report, but it's true, far outstrips our body's natural elimination mechanisms. And studies indicate that most of us have between 400 and 800 chemical residues stored in the fat cells of our bodies. So to stay healthy and strong in this potentially deadly waste products. So to me, it's the best solution. It's regular, effective, whole-body detoxification, which is what we're talking about today, and an infrared sauna boosts the body's ability to detoxify, leading to significant and lasting benefits. In fact, the use of an infrared sauna, as you may or may not know, is recognized worldwide by doctors, medical doctors, and health practitioners as the most effective way of removing both chemical and heavy metal toxins like lead and mercury from the body. Of course, it also, if you take saunas, you know what I'm talking about. It also relaxes the body, relieves stress, supports weight loss. I told you that one session burns about 300 calories. Great way to work out, huh? It improves your cardiovascular functioning, helps with pain relief and relaxation. It makes your skin look beautiful and more. So a lot of companies make saunas, but a lot of companies use toxic products like glue and the wood in making the sauna. And you don't want that. You want one that is environmentally friendly, that supports the detoxification system, not sabotages it. So the one I used that you saw pictured is called the Transcend, and it's known to be the best one in the industry. It comes in a 1, 2, or 3 person size. Go to my search bar on my website, SusanSmithJones.com. Put in infrared sauna, and you can read all of the studies I have. I told you I know people that buy more than one, and they rent out time in the sauna, and they're making lots of money. Time of day, I would say any time that it fits into your schedule. However, if you have any sleeping issues, then use it about 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, and you'll sleep like a baby. And here's why. The process of your body cooling down after taking a sauna bath increases the melatonin in your body and will relax you for a very sound sleep. That's why you want to give a baby a bath before you put the baby to sleep. And in my new book, I write a lot about the benefits of infrared saunas. And I know some people who sit in the sauna, because there's a big glass door in the front you saw, who watch TV through the door, or they listen to books on tape, or music, or they meditate, or I know some people that nap. I know one lady that she knits in the sauna because it's not as suffocatingly hot as a traditional dry sauna. But listen, I don't sell saunas. I don't own any stock in any company, but I'm going to give you a toll-free number now. You can call and get more information. They'll give you a free health consultation. If you mention you heard us talk about the sauna, they'll give you a $500 discount. But it's High Tech Health in Boulder, Colorado, and their toll-free number is 800-794-5355. Tell them hi for me. It's 800-794-5355. Remember, I don't sell saunas, but I don't want to recommend something I don't use myself, and it's the best one, and I like to recommend the best. Okay, last question. Yay! I agree with you that if we do a cleanse, I'm trying to read this, detox program, we should focus on the body and the mind, big letters, and the mind. How can I use my mind and thoughts more effectively during a detox program and also in my daily life to help bring about greater success, confidence, and happiness? Now, that's a brilliant question. I love that. All right, so I'm going to answer it quickly by saying this. Let me think for a moment. Our bodies reflect our minds, and our minds reflect our spirit. And remember that what we think about and visualize for ourselves in our life, we bring more of that back into our lives. We're always attracting to ourselves the equivalent of what we think, feel, believe, and say. So watch what you think and how you feel and what you say. In my new book, I share in so many different ways why it's important to dream big, let your imagination soar, visualizing your goals every day. One of my most favorite quotes is by Albert Einstein, who said, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview to life's coming attraction." And this reminds me of one of my favorite Bible scriptures, which is Hebrews 11:1. Do you know what that one is? It's faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Now, isn't that wonderful? I love that. And my belief that I learned from my mom and my grandmother and through life experiences is that God will seed your imagination with something that is special just for you. And our mission, if we choose to accept it, is to believe wholeheartedly, to imagine our goals as already achieved. In other words, see your body as strong, fit, healthy, cleansed, and detoxified. And then assume the feeling of that wish fulfilled. That's important. And keep the faith, live gratefully, and continue to move onward and upward. So visualizing what you want to achieve in life will fast-track your success. I absolutely know this to be true, and studies absolutely confirm it. Ralph Waldo Trine once said, "Faith is an invisible and invincible magnet and attracts to itself whatever it fervently desires and persistently expects." So you got to maintain faith no matter what's going on in your life. Ralph Waldo Emerson, last quote, I promise. Ralph Waldo Emerson is probably my most favorite quote, other than quotes in the Bible, is that the whole course of things goes to teach us faith. Really, I love that. That's what life is all about. And so I promise you this, and I'm just, this is a hot topic. You hear that siren going by. In my book, Wired for High Level Wellness, I have a lot of heartfelt personal stories about my life, what I've gone through, the ups and downs, and with clients. And I promise you, I'll have you on the edge of your seat. People who have read it, who have given me endorsements, have told me this. My humor and intermission sections with jokes will have you laughing so hard that you won't need to do your crunches, because the book will give you a great abdominal workout. And my sound and life-enriching nutritional and holistic lifestyle guidance will have you feeling healthier, happier, and more hopeful even before you've finished with Chapter 1. So these are all the questions. They're answered. Once again, I thank you so much for visiting, and I look forward to the next time we get together through a webinar. Thank you.